Welcome to Local Time. Today I'm going to show you just a few little tips about how I transplant clumped up seedlings. So this is some celery I bought a couple of weeks ago. It was only less than half the size of that, and there's a lot of seeds in there. There's a lot of little celery plants, all in just 6 compartments. And now normally these seed suppliers, they'll only give you 1 or 2 plants in each of those compartments. So you're paying like $4.50 for 12 plants if you're lucky. But every now and again, I don't know if they do this on purpose, if they're feeling generous. Thank you so much to the seed suppliers if they do this on purpose. Or maybe it's just a beginner working for them who slips with the seeds or something. But yeah, if you look through the seedling selections at places like Bunnings, you can find little punnets like this with a lot of clumped up seedlings. And that's good value really. That's the same price, $4.50, for a lot of seedlings there. And it's just a little tricky to separate them. It takes a bit of time and patience, but if you're somebody like me, it's nice, light work. It's very easy for me to do, and it helps me to save a lot of money. And the main secret to success with these things is put them in water. Let the seeds just gently wash the soil off the roots, and you can gently separate them. So I'll just pop these out, each of these little seedlings. And 6 little compartments here. There we go. See, it's quite matted there. But yeah, the best way to separate them is in water. You can gently pull them apart. You've got to be patient with it. Yeah, it's quite tedious actually, but you just got to be gentle and patient and just slowly wash that soil off the roots and then gently pull them apart. And it's quite amazing actually, really, because again you want to remember these are living things. These are alive. And I kind of feel if you get in the right mindset and you're gentle enough, they want to separate, they want to unravel, and you've just got to help them along. So it's quite interesting. At first they seem a bit stubborn, but you just keep working with it really gently, and they almost separate themselves. Well, almost. Yeah, true, I think, if you got the right hand for it and the right mindset. But you've just got to be really gentle and work slowly. This is going to take me at least an hour. But now, yeah, I'm gently trying to separate, because you don't want to tear any roots at all, if you can help it. You can get away with it. You can tear some roots. But the ideal is, if you spend enough time, you virtually don't have to break a single root, hey? You spend enough time and it will just separate. They will just come apart. Look, there's the first compartment already. Can you see that? They are virtually untangling themselves. And there we go. See, it's got a nice little root system. See, that's going to grow really well now when it goes into a separate compartment with that good potting mix. And yeah, put it in the little mini hothouse for at least a few days or longer, even a week, depending on what the weather's doing. It's been very cold lately, so they've really appreciated the hot houses. And when it's very windy, they like it too. See, and that's the trick, is to just be gentle. Just take your time and gently wash that soil out of the roots. And this applies for just about all seedlings. But see, as you can see, it's time consuming, eh? It's time consuming. It's easy work, but you just need to be gentle and patient. Come on, girls. Do your stuff.
Hello!
Let go of each other and just let me pull you apart. So each and every one of you can be a beautiful plant by yourselves. Yeah, look how many seedlings are there in that container. Oh, look, there's, oh, how's that? That one just came out then. Just let go. I couldn't move it all that time, and now suddenly it's just, oh look, it's all just coming out. It's just let go. How about that, eh? Thank you. So there we go. We've got that one finally separated from the rest. See, and that just wouldn't budge. And I'm pretty sure I haven't torn anything. Perhaps a tiny bit. But it's pretty well, it just let go. It just stopped grabbing as it was. And it's virtually untangled themselves, as I was saying. Virtually untangled themselves. There's some people will tell you that these things, they've got a superior consciousness. You know, they may not have a brain, but it's living energy, and its genetic code is just locked into life. It's living and doing its thing. And us humans, we're here to help them along, if we can. We help them along and we reap the benefits as well. Now it's getting close to dark. So anyway, I'll just show you how I do this. I put the biggest plants in first, a little bit at the bottom, put the roots on, put the roots in, and just pack it down like that. And there it is. That's it. There's another one. Try and get all the biggest ones this time. Again, just a little potting mix at the bottom, so the roots aren't hanging out the bottom. It doesn't even hurt to let it curl in a circle, I find. So I've got that curled in a bit of a circle there now. Put the rest of the potting mix on top. Done. Okay, I'm panting already. It's just talking takes my breath away. So I better move. So that just gives you an idea how I plant them. Then yeah, just give it a light sprinkle of water and put those little hothouses over them. That works really well. Even now it's warmer, it's just good. Keeps the moisture in, gives them a bit of humidity. Keeps them warmer and keeps the moisture in, because it gets windy around here too. It's got quite still here right now, but there is quite strong breezes here which really suck the moisture out of a newly transplanted seedling. Just trying to pick out the biggest ones for this one in these bigger pots. Okay, well that's my big tray done. I'll start on the smaller tray. I think it is going to be. I'm going to fill this up and more, I think. See, in this part's pretty simple, really. It's not that difficult. The hardest part was separating the roots. Transplanting them's pretty simple. Putting them all in bigger pots, in separate little pots. It's pretty simple, but it's delicate. You've got to be really gentle.
The next day.
Okay, my friends, that's the finished result. This is the next day, and the sun's only just hitting them now, actually. It's a bit after 2 o'clock, and it's been a cloudy day, but the sun's just broke out through the clouds. Perfect time to transplant, really. And that's the bigger ones there. And that's the other 2 trays. So yeah, that spot is getting too much sun now. Yeah, so I counted them. That's a little over 100. There's 30 in that bigger tray. There's 48 in that tray, and there's about 28 or so in that tray. It's a little over half filled. So yeah, that's more than 100 seedlings, celery seedlings, and if grown to their fullest potential, that'd be $6 a bunch. So yeah, like 100 seedlings, $6 a bunch, $600 of celery. I won't grow them quite that well. well, in this spot as well, but it's going to get very sunny now. It's getting more and more sun is getting in there, and it's becoming more and more like a real garden. Gets enough light to perform, but it's still not quite like sitting in a paddock in a market garden, is it? It's still got the walls around it, and You know, even if it's at its fullest potential, it'll get a lot less sun than a true market garden. But yeah, but still, you know, 100 plants out of just one investment, out of one, I think it's about $4.50 actually, for just one of those trays. All those seedlings just come out of there. So it's well worth it, hey, it's well worth doing. It's well worth putting the effort in. And, you know, just persevere with it. You'll have some failures. And yeah, you just got to stay patient, keep at it, and eventually it becomes quite easy. But even me, like I still have failures like I did with those lettuce I showed you. I'll show you again soon. But hopefully I won't make a mistake with these. Yeah, so I'm going to have my breakfast soon. Out of here I'm going to pick my salad again, my daily salad. And then I've got these papaya too. These are off my own trees. These are all Hawaiian golds. So they're going to be delicious, especially the big one. I'll be eating that soon in the next hour or two as well. But that's not a bad size, that one. And yeah, really delicious. And yes, right now is a perfect time to transplant with the extra cloud and to move these things out now into more sun. See, they're getting some bright sun now. It's a bit too harsh on them, but there's so much cloud. Actually, there may not be much more cloud for another couple of hours, but they should get through it. And just having these extra clouds over these days, it just helps everything to settle in and get used to full sun. Hi my friends, welcome to local time. Well, I thought I'd start this spring update with just a quick look at some transplants, and this is the end result. And you can see there to the left there, that little punnet there, all those transplants there, all those celery plants came out of that tiny little punnet. There's about 100. There's about 100 celery plants there, a little bit over actually. They were in better condition. They're starting to look a bit ratty now because it's getting really hot, and they've wilted a few times because it is just getting too small of a container for the size of the plant. They really need to be planted out. So that'll be my first task actually. Today I'm going to do that. I just wanted to show these to you, just so you can get an idea how they come up. Yeah, and they all came out of that. They were all in a thick clump in there. But yeah, I'll just give you a quick look. That's my multicoloured spinach. That's my broccoli now. The broccoli will be putting out heads soon. Yeah, the multicoloured spinach, I've been picking that hard. That's been delicious. But it's getting a bit knocked around now. This hot summer, these last 2 days, they've been wilting. It's been hard to keep the water up. But yeah, first up I'm going to plant these celery plants into my old Mizuma containers. Remember, that was a Mizuma, and it's all gone to seed now. I was waiting, I gave it a few extra weeks to finish seeding. I thought why not, because it could work out nice. I could get a lot of wild Mizuna coming up here. So my plan is this afternoon I'm going to start cutting these out and doing what I've done there. I did that with the Mizuna. In that pot I cut these big things out, planted those lettuces, and then just used the Mizuna for mulch. With the seed pods and everything, just mulched it on top. So I'll be doing that Oh yeah, these red lettuce, like there were 6 plants there. They were nice thick clumps of lettuce there. They've been delicious. But now it's suddenly gone hot. They're bolting to seed. And these too, they're all bolting to seed now. But it's been a very nice lettuce. Yeah, I'll just pick that last one out. I can plant celery in there. Plant celery in these other pots. I should be able to plant at least half of these, I think. And then I'll figure out somewhere to plant the others. I'll make it work somehow. I've still got a couple more of these boxes too, actually, that I could use to fill up with more sugarcane mulch and plant in them. I still haven't got this garden ready here yet. But yeah, I'll give you a look at that, and I'm also going to use this little bit for the beginning of my spring update. And I'll show you more of the rest of my garden. Everything's coming to life now. As you notice, my voice has gone funny. But yeah, everything's coming to life now. The papayas are suddenly starting to grow. See that papaya there? That's only just on a year old now. That's the red dragon. And it's got a lot of fruit. It's a bit small, and even the fruit's a bit damaged by the cold, but yeah, that's a real performer, that red dragon. So yeah, I'll show you more of all that in the spring update. So if you're watching my transplant video, you'll know that if you want to see more, check out the spring update. And if you're watching my spring update, maybe you'll want to check out more of my transplant video, where I transplant these celery plants. Oh yeah, I finally moved the sourshops. So I was hoping we'd get some cloudy days. We suddenly got a bit of cloud now, thank God. I put these out in the heavy rain, thinking it's a good time for them to adjust to the sunlight, and then within a day it just got burning hot. So I don't know what I'm going to do there, unless we get... Yesterday it was cooking. Today there's a bit of cloud, but unless we get more cloud, they're going to start burning. So I might have to put a shade cloth over them. I hope not, but just see what happens. But anyway, I'll switch off and I'll show you where I've planted these things. It's going to be real tricky planting these now, actually, if we keep getting hot days like the last two, because it's just burning hot. So I might have to put, once I plant them in these pots, I might have to cover them over for a few days and get them to adjust to the sunlight slowly. Okay, let's see how it looks once I plant them out. Hi my friends. Well, a few days have passed now, and this is my celery transplanted. And yeah, it was frying hot last time I was showing you this, and it was a bit tricky to get them to take these transplants because it was so hot. But now we've had a sudden change again, and the weather's just so weird lately. We had rain yesterday, and now we've got westerly winds, and it's suddenly gone cold again. But that makes it easy for these things to settle in. So yeah, just thought I'd give you a look at how that comes up. They've been burnt off a bit, but they should be okay. They should settle in fine now. And I've planted them pretty thick. I've planted all of them now, they've all been planted out. Got a few in there actually. In with that lettuce. A heap in there, there's a couple in there even actually, you can see there. Where I had lettuce before, it was bolting to seed. Yeah, and the last of them, the smallest, I've just put them into these pots. Because all this lettuce is going, all this other lettuce is going to seed too. Because of the summer, they're all bolting. So they won't be in there for long. I'll have more space soon. These lettuces, yeah. I'll be able to pick lower leaves for a little bit longer, but it's sort of running out of time for them. So I've got more room to plant more of this celery if I really want. But I have got so much celery now. I would like to plant more lettuce and more greens actually. But I've planted these into straw again. Very little soil in there. A handful of extra soil around the roots, and then the rest is just straw. So they can stay there for, well, you know me. They'll be there for a couple of months if they want to, or longer, or just permanent even, you know. But, you know, they're ready. They'll be ready to plant in these other spots if I need it. So, okay, that's just thought I'd show you that last bit. And, oh yeah, the Mizuna. The Mizuna is coming up already. Look at that. So I'm surprised, actually. I thought it was going to be too hot for them. And it still might be yet. It still might be too hot. But this garden gets a bit more shade in midsummer too. So we'll see. Those papayas have the biggest spread of leaves in midsummer. So they'll produce a bit of shade. So let's see. I might have Mizuma in summer. That'd be interesting. And yeah, I've sprinkled some more Mizuna seeds in amongst there. I've chopped them off. So I guess they'll be coming up soon too. But what I was really hoping is they'll be coming up in winter. Because that's when they really thrive, as a winter vegetable. But anyway, we'll see. Yeah, I'm letting that red lettuce, I just left those last red lettuce there to seed. And so I have more wild plants. I'll leave a couple of these smaller ones to seed too, but I'll pick most of it. So yeah, and now I will carry on with the spring update, how the garden's going. Although it's not the best day for it, it's really windy. A strong westerly wind that's in here whipping around. It's been dying off this afternoon though, actually. It's very unusual to get strong westerly winds this time of year. Late spring. So yeah, we had a cold, cloudy spring. A few days of summer weather suddenly came in, now it's gone again. So but yeah, I finally moved those trees. I finally got them out of where I had there, that little bay in there. My little transplanting bay. I've got new plants in there now. And I'll be putting a lot more things in there over time. Got native silky oak there. And Moreton Bay fig. Couple of Moreton Bay figs there, and that's an ice cream bean tree, very delicious fruit. I'll have more of those soon. The aloe vera Barbados, that's the best aloe vera for your skin, for external, the Barbados. I've got a fair bit of that stuff, so I hope to transplant all those plants soon. into bigger pots. It's one of my projects coming up now. And yeah, just with this area now I've got room to do a few cuttings and stuff like that. Those impatiens, that's quite a hardy impatient actually. Strikes really easy for cuttings. Oh, and there actually I've got a little meringue. It's a little meringue tree there. Hope it grows. They really struggled over winter. But I've got a lot to learn about meringues too. They have particular likes and dislikes, and I'm only just working that out now. But yeah, delicious fruit. I'd love to just get that growing, get a bit of size about it. Hope I can now that it's warmed up. And yeah, this soursop's been going well. This one in the ground. I'm very happy with that. It hardly lost a single leaf in winter, and it was the coldest winter we've pretty well ever had. So that's a real good sign. I really thought it was going to lose all its leaves in this spot, but it made it. Hello my friends, welcome to local time. Today is the 21st of August 2022 and winter's almost over. 1st of September will be spring, so we can't wait for spring. We've had a terrible winter. It's been unbelievably cold and inhospitable. But it's not so bad just lately actually, the last few days. We've had a lot of very nice sunny days. But anyway, today I'm going to show you just a few little tips about how I transplant clumped up seedlings. So this is some celery I bought a couple of weeks ago. It was only less than half the size of that. And there's a lot of seeds in there. There's a lot of little celery plants, all in just 6 compartments. And now normally these seed suppliers, they'll only give you 1 or 2 plants in each of those compartments. So you're paying like $4.50 for 12 plants if you're lucky. But every now and again, I don't know if they do this on purpose, if they're feeling generous. Thank you so much to the seed suppliers if they do this on purpose. Or maybe it's just a beginner working for them who slips with the seeds or something. But yeah, if you look through the seedling selections at places like Bunnings, you can find little punnets like this with a lot of clumped up seedlings. And that's good value really. That's the same price, $4.50. For a lot of seedlings there, and it's just a little tricky to separate them. It takes a bit of time and patience, but if you're somebody like me, it's nice light work. It's very easy for me to do, and it helps me to save a lot of money. So today I'm going to show you just a few tips that I use to separate all these seedlings and plant them in individual pots. Well, an individual little punnets like that. 1 plant in each little pot that size is what I'll be doing. So I'll be using quite a few of those. And these are what I do them in. I've got a few of these things. These are some lettuce, some of those red lettuce that I did a couple of weeks ago. That was similar. That was another punnet. Well, actually that was a little pot like that, even smaller actually, with a big clump of lettuce in it. And once I separated it, and they were much smaller, but they've been there for a couple of weeks in those larger pots, all separated, and yeah, as you can see, they're coming quite good. I messed up a little bit just there though. On the left hand side, that left hand corner, like I had these little mini hothouses on top of them. That's what I put them on. Well, yeah, I pot them up and then put those little hothouses over them. And I left that hothouse on a bit too long. I didn't realise. It was quite hot and it was starting to burn them. It was too humid and too hot. And yeah, so I've lost a few unfortunately, but otherwise it's pretty good. A lot of those there have sort of been too hot and wet for too long. But they'll come good. Now I've taken the tops off. And these ones under here, these are some broccoli I did recently. A bit hard to see maybe. I did those only about a week ago. And there was only 12 in one of those little punnets, 2 in each little compartment. But I've separated all them too, that'll just give me more mileage. Yeah. Put them in larger pots. And they're doing quite well. Here I've got like a shaded spot here that only gets a couple of hours of afternoon sun, so they do quite well there. I'll just switch off and get my breath back. Oh yeah, and that's a few perennial lettuce that just grew from my garden actually. Just some seeds that were growing in the path. So I've separated them. But yeah, I've sort of got a nice little spot here and a bit of space here to transplant things. That's where all my sour sops have been over winter. My sour sops and my red pomelos. That's my red pomelos there. They're ready to go out in full sun very soon. But yeah, now today's a cloudy day, so I'm going to move those out of the way now. They're ready to start going out of here, where there's more sunlight, out here in the open. And this has been my veggie garden over winter. And it's a very shady spot, but it's the sunniest spot I got in the whole yard. But over winter it only got about 2 hours a day. But these are all plants that I've separated. I bought in clumped pots, so it worked out very cheap. All those Mizuma, that's that Mizuma. Mizuma might be the proper pronunciation. I got a lot of those out of just one punnet, and they're feeding me not too badly. Got some dwarf broccoli there. They definitely were dwarf. They would have grown better in full sun though. I've got a few heads off those. And yeah, I get about a salad every day. At least a salad every day out of this. Just keep picking the bottom leaves. Yeah. And my papaya there, they're in that hot mulch I showed you at the beginning of winter. See, they've survived quite well. They haven't really grown. They've just stayed the same, which is good. They haven't gone backwards at all. But yeah, I put all these in these pots because I want to get a bobcat around the corner there. I prefer to make that a permanent garden in there. But I've just put them in all these trays, these foam boxes. I've just filled them with mulch, that's all, just the sugarcane mulch, and planted the seedlings directly in the sugarcane mulch. And I can get that out of the way now if I ever get enough money to get a bobcat around the corner. Out the back there I've got a fair bit of space where I'd like to plant papaya. But yeah, this is all starting to just look a bit better now. It's warmer and there's a little bit more sun getting through. And pretty soon this will be a very sunny spot. If the sun gets up over those trees. See, that's the north out that way. Oh yeah, and that's a few, what do they call those? Rainbow spinach. It's got yellow, red and white stems. That's another clumped up little punnet that I bought and I separated. Hasn't been in there for long. They'll get a lot bigger, of course, especially as summer comes on. This gets to be a very good hot sunny spot in summer. Or in spring even. It won't be long. Oh yeah, you can see those papayas. The cold hurt them. They lost a fair few leaves. But they should come good soon. They should start growing. It's got a lot of fruit on it. It's not even a year old, that papaya. That's my red dragon papaya. Fruiting nicely. Very pleased with the performance of that papaya. Still haven't tasted the fruit yet, but if it's as good as they say, I'll be planting a lot more of those. Well, most of these little ones, these are all red dragons too. Red dragon papaya. Yeah, so anyway, I'll show you how I do this. I'll show you how I separate all these little tiny seedlings. And this can apply with just about anything really. If you've got it growing in a clump of seedlings and you want to put them all to use. Maybe you're low on space or something, so you had to clump them up. Or same like me, you're looking for bargains at Bunnings, so you buy the clumped up seedlings. So yeah, I'll give you a look at that. I'll just get my breath back again. So this is my little workstation. That's basically all I need, and just a cushion there. It's one of those cushion things for my knees. I'll just squat down there. You know, I guess you can make it more comfortable, but that's all I need for now. And the seedlings there. I'm going to use this for one. This is a larger size little pots in it. And this is what I've never even opened before. I've had it for more than 10 years. I bought a few years ago. I had a few and I used some and never got around to using others. But you used to just be able to buy these in the supermarkets. And they're damn good, eh? See, this is still in the plastic packet. But yeah, it's the it's got a smaller tray in there, or a smaller little pot in there in the hothouse, and yeah, it works really well. They're great for all sorts of things. Like they say, there's seedlings, vegetables, cuttings. Mix I like to use. The Searles potting mix. It's pretty damn good stuff really. It's one of the better potting mixes. Like at Bunnings you've got a huge choice of potting mix. They do make an organic too, but you don't see it very often. I guess the organic would be better for vegetables. But the way I see it is I only use a small amount for each seedling, and then the rest goes into the organic sugarcane mulch once they've grown a bit. But yeah, the organic's a lot more expensive too. Yeah, it's sort of got some extras there. It's got a fair bit of punch to it. Vegetables grow really well in it actually. Well, all sorts of seedlings. And I use this for my fruit trees too. Well, actually, see this here, I've got these are bigger, older pots. I've got them laying all around the yard because this whole yard used to be a nursery. I had it as a plant nursery 20 years ago, and these are all old spent pots that are lying around. So I mostly use the soil in those and recycle it, but I add a bit of this soils to just bring it back to life. Add some soils to it as well, and it makes it a pretty good potting mix then. Yeah, so I'll just cut this off, give you a look at it. Yeah, I think I've got enough seedlings to fill 2 of these trays. That's my guesstimate. Yeah, good value, these things. But anyway, that's the size I'm going to use. I think I've got enough seedlings to fill one of these, and I'll put the bigger seedlings in that bigger one, the black one there. It's about twice as big. Yeah, and the main secret to success with these things is put them in water. Let the seeds just gently wash the soil off the roots, and you can gently separate them. So I'll just pop these out, each of these little seedlings. And 6 little compartments here. There we go. See, it's quite matted there. But yeah, the best way to separate them is in water. You can gently pull them apart. But you've got to be patient with it. Yeah, it's quite tedious actually. But you just got to be gentle and patient, and just slowly wash that soil off the roots, and then gently pull them apart. And it's quite amazing actually, really, because again, you want to remember these are living things. These are alive. And I kind of feel if you get in the right mindset and you're gentle enough, they want to separate, they want to unravel, and you just got to help them along. So it's quite interesting. At first they seem a bit stubborn, but you just keep working with it really gently, and they almost separate themselves. Well, almost. Yeah, true, I think, if you got the right hand for it and the right mindset. But you've just got to be really gentle and work slowly. You know, this is going to take me at least an hour. So I hope I've got enough daylight to finish this off. But yeah, just gently pull them apart. Wash that soil off. And yeah, I'll just show you how I do it. And for me, then I just put them all up on that. I just put each one there, lay them on that tray. Oh, there's 2 trays there actually. I see now. That doesn't matter, it's just somewhere to rest them anyway. And yeah, big seedlings in the bigger compartment. Be interesting to see how many seedlings are there, because there is a lot, I think. And again, when I bought it, it was a fair bit smaller. It was about 1/3 that size about 2 weeks ago. And I think some have dominated. I think there'll be more smaller ones underneath. So we'll see. That's usually what happens. There'll be big ones. They're all the same size when I bought it. A lot of seedlings. But now there'll be big ones and smaller ones. And it might even fill up 3. It's hard to say. But yeah, it's tedious and time consuming, but well worth it, good value. Because when you think you could pay $4.50 and normally you might only get 12 in those 6, but thank God they give us some clumps like this. And again, yeah, they're either doing it on purpose. If they are, thank you very much for us the pensioners and people with disabilities and that, and low on money. And yeah, if you're doing it on purpose, thanks very much. It helps us a lot. We can put the time in. We don't mind. We've got plenty of time on our hands, and we can put the time in and separate these things, and we get a lot of plants. There's going to be a lot of celery there, more than I need. Enough to give away to friends and family. Okay, it's had a bit of a soak. We'll just see how it is. It usually needs a bit more time till it sinks, actually, but we'll see. So yeah, those 6 compartments are all kind of joined. But now, yeah, I'm gently trying to separate, because you don't want to tear any roots at all, if you can help it. You know, you can get away with it. You can tear some roots. But the ideal is, you know, if you spend enough time, you virtually don't have to break a single root, hey. You spend enough time and it will just separate. They will just come apart. Look, there's the first compartment already. All the soils off it. Can you see that? It's hard for me to, I've got to keep checking to make sure you can see what I'm looking at. So yeah, in this water now, we just gently wash these roots and gently tug on it. See, oh yeah, look, this is really easy. This is the lettuce I was doing a couple of weeks ago. Might turn out to be harder than this. This one's coming apart real easy. And nothing's really getting torn here. They are virtually untangling themselves. There are only 3 in that compartment. There we go. See, and it's got a nice little root system. See, that's going to grow really well now when it goes into a separate compartment with that good potting mix. And yeah, put it in the little mini hothouse for at least a few days or longer, even a week, depending on what the weather's doing. It's been very cold lately, so they've really appreciated the hot houses. And when it's very windy, they like it too. Look, see, there's that. That's got a good root system, hey? See, that's a nice, healthy little seedling. See, I was giving it as much sunshine as I could there for a while, which again in this yard, it's only about 3 hours. I would move that punnet around a little to make sure I got about 3 hours for it. But now I'll keep it here, just here, and it only gets about an hour and a half of sun, maybe a little longer, but some of the weakest sun in the afternoon. And I find that's working quite well. See, and that's the third one. So there was only 3 in that compartment. That surprised me. I thought there'd be more in there. Let's see how we go, see what's next. There's a lot more than 3 in this one, I think. See, and that's the trick, is to just be gentle Just take your time and gently wash that soil out of the roots. And this applies for just about all seedlings, you know. I guess there is some of the bigger, stronger plants, trees and fruit trees. You hardly have to worry, you can separate them without water even, you know, just pull them apart. But it tends to help with just about everything really, is just put them in water. See, I've almost got all that potting mix out now. Just gently washing it. Making sure not to tear any roots. But, you know, they will get away with a little bit of tearing too. See, there is times you may have to tear a little bit. But pretty much, if you put the time into it, just gently washing them, they'll separate. They come apart. So you just need to be gentle and patient and just persevere with it. That's quite tidy in there, that little part, but I am a little tempted to tear. If I was by myself I wouldn't, but I'm kind of wanting to do this faster for you. But I guess this will help you to just see that it is a time-consuming task, but it's worth the effort, you know. And I could go one step further one day, especially the way I'm getting organised now, is I raise my own seedlings. But there's a lot to say for buying seedlings. It's a lot of fussing around to raise your own seedlings, and you need the right environment. Whereas, you know, to buy seedlings like this saves a lot of time and effort. Still is knotted in there. There's one part there, see that one part? And it's hard to know where the roots are actually coming from, which side those roots belong to. But we'll get there. See, it got a lot longer now, so they were like strapped in there tighter and closer together before. Yeah, some people might think it impossible, but they almost want to separate themselves if you just give them a hand. You put them in that water, it's almost like magic. You know, you sort of see, like right now, this seems like it's not going to separate. And maybe it won't, maybe I will have to tear. There's only a few roots left there now. But it can be quite amazing how they just almost untangle themselves. They just need a little bit of help from man. Yeah, these are living things. And you know, if you're a plant lover, you know plants are very special. See, look at that, there's even less there now. Well, maybe I'll just work on the clump. See, that's quite a thick clump, isn't it? So maybe it's time to just... I still haven't got that part separated, but if I can just pull some of these others out. Yeah, there's a fair few in here, and this is quite clumped up. So this really needs some time. I hope I can finish this before dark. This would have been better separating these earlier, actually. Like a week ago, before they got as big as they are now. Oh yeah, this is a little harder than the lettuce I did the other day. These have got bigger. And there is a lot of roots in there, all in a ball. All just matted in there together. You just keep fiddling with it, gently, gently. Getting better. And they'll hardly look back once they go into the bigger pots. They'll hardly suffer any knockback at all, you know. They virtually just go straight into growing. Oh, I just ran out of battery then. But I wasn't expecting that, but all good. Yeah, but will I get this done on time? Because I'm kind of stuck on this first clump, or the second clump actually. Kind of stuck here. It is separating, but very slowly. See, it's spreading out. I might even start getting a few out of there soon. But there's only about less than an hour of sunlight left. I wanted to show you how I plant them all as well. So this might have to be a two-part job even, maybe. Maybe I'll have to try and separate today and then plant them tomorrow. But see, as you can see, it's time consuming, eh? It's time consuming. It's easy work, but you just need to be gentle and patient. See, I'm just kneeling on that pillow, on that garden mat, cushion. A table would be a lot better, of course, a table and a chair. I've never really had that in the garden. But that'd be getting a lot better organised, I guess, wouldn't it? Come on, girls. Do your stuff.
Hello!
Let go of each other and just let me pull you apart. So each and every one of you can be a beautiful plant by yourselves. Yeah, look how many seedlings are there in that container. Oh, look, there's, oh, how's that? That one just came out then. Just let go. I couldn't move it all that time and now suddenly it's just, oh look, it's all just coming out. It's just let go. How about that, eh? Thank you. So there we go. We've got that one finally separated from the rest. See, and that just wouldn't budge. And I'm pretty sure I haven't torn anything. Perhaps a tiny bit. But it's pretty well, it just let go. It just stopped grabbing as it was. And it's virtually untangled themselves, as I was saying. Virtually untangled themselves. There's some people will tell you that these things, they've got a superior consciousness. You know? They may not have a brain, but it's living energy and its genetic code is just locked into life. It's living and doing its thing. And us humans, we're here to help them along, if we can. We help them along and we reap the benefits as well. Getting there slowly, slowly. That's a hell of a clump. That one, I think the rest are going to be similar. Although the rest have had more time in the water too. So that might help. I do hope the rest are easier than this one, because this one's taking a lot of time. See now, I could probably be a little bit more rough and tear a few roots, and it would hardly hurt them a bit. You know, I probably could do that and get away with it. But I'll keep trying to not tear anything and just keep good root systems on every one of them. Good and intact root systems. Here comes one. Way! The first one. The small one, not a real lot of roots, is there? One of the smallest there. There we go. There's another one. Oh, that's a nice lot of roots, eh? Only moving slow, but this clump's finally coming apart. Not many roots on that one. Might have broken a few there, hey? Yeah, they should all start coming apart more easily now. Oh geez. I will be planting tomorrow though, I think. So I'll leave these roots in a bit of water overnight and get to it first thing tomorrow. Here we go, there's another one. You see where I've put them there? Yeah, you can, good. Just lay them all out separately. Ah, there we go, another one. Here we go, finally. Woo! So that took a while, didn't it? There we go. All coming out now. Whoops. He's a gentle hand and a patient temperament. There we go. All finally coming apart. With nice big root systems on them. Nice big long root systems. There we go. Now that took a while though, didn't it? But every one of these plants will have a real good start now, providing I do everything else right. There we go. See, all just separating beautifully now. And what have we got? Only a few left. Yeah, even that one is small, but it's got not a bad little root system on it. Certainly plenty to get it growing. See, with that many roots, they hardly look back. Once they go in that good soils potting mix. See, there we go, look. See, it's all worth it. It's worth putting the time into it. Nice there, hey? See, it just coming apart so easy. But how long did that take me, you know? It took a fair while, hey? What, half an hour? I don't know, it took a while. And there's still a few left. There we go. I'll count them soon to see how many we got there out of that one little clump. There we go, look at that one. Only small, but yeah, good root system on it. Beautiful. Very nice. Worth the effort now. You'd almost get frustrated if you didn't get good results in the end. So you just got to persevere. Look at the roots on that. There might even be a few roots there from a couple of those other plants that have broken off. But there we go. That's that whole little clump. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21, and there was 3 in just that one compartment, wasn't there? So yeah, I think that's about 18 little seedlings just out of that one compartment. So yeah, this is going to keep me very busy. These others, hopefully they'll come apart better now. They've been in the water for a while, and just the swishing. See, nearly all the soil's out of those already. I haven't even started working on them yet. Just the movement of the water. See there, yeah, we got 4 left, wow. And I'm tired already. Maybe that gives you the general idea, huh? Or maybe I should just speed up the rest. So you see it at fast speed. Otherwise it gets a bit boring, isn't it? It's like watching paint dry. But yeah, just need a gentle hand. Gentle and persistent. And just gently wash that water around them. Jiggle those roots. And some of those are fairly big. Some of those can go in that big compartment. The bigger pots. Okay, there's the next clump separated. Wow. The smaller ones than this one. Maybe they'll be easier to separate. Oh, that one came out very easy too there. How's that one? Tiny. But you know, maybe I didn't tear many roots, maybe that's basically how it is, you know. And it's going to get too dark soon, maybe. But you know, when I have to pack up, I'm not going to finish this, but I'll just pour some water in there. See, I've got the roots all hanging into it. and put those last couple of clumps in there. Yeah, just let it sit on a bit of water overnight. Shouldn't be too bad. Not the ideal, it would have been best just separating and planting immediately, but I've run out of time. It'll be dark soon, so yeah, I just pour a bit of water on there, and that should keep them in pretty good condition overnight and finish the job tomorrow. You see that? They were shy to move at first, weren't they? And then they just slip apart. But still, you know, like, what's my time worth an hour? At my age and in my condition, there's not much I can do anymore. And it's good to keep active. You know, when you stop moving, that's when you die. So, you know, it's good to keep moving, keep thinking, keep doing things. And there's very few things I think more enjoyable than working in the garden. You know, even the Chinese have a saying, for the way for a man to be happy is grow a garden. It really is. You know, the satisfaction you get from it and the health benefits. You know, this garden's healing me. Slowly healing me. Sunshine, the fresh air, the fresh food, fresh organic food. There we go, another one. Coming apart a little bit easier now. Oh, that one came out real easy, but so small. Yeah, those really little ones will go in the smaller compartments, of course. And I'm going to have celery coming out of my ears. I know it's going to be everywhere. In a few months' time. There we go. And the guideline, like, you know when you tear a root, well, pretty much, you know, there might be some fine roots you don't notice, but you know when you tear a root. So the thing is to just nurse it along, keep jiggling it and trying to gently separate them without tearing those roots. That's the secret. Thinking good thoughts, all that helps, eh? You don't want to be getting angry or frustrated while you're doing it, or you'll just make a mess of it. Oh, look at so many plants, wow. I knew there was a lot, yeah. Yeah, the big ones kind of dominated. There's lots of little ones underneath those big ones. There we go. Look at these, very tiny. Look at that little one. But nice root system on it, hey? Yeah, there we go. Finally. Whoa. Yeah, there's no way I'm going to finish this though. Not a chance. I'm glad I showed you this one actually, because this one was a real test. How's that one, eh? But yep, that'll grow with the right care. That will grow in its own little separate compartment. And sodium, celery is high in sodium, and that's the real salt. You know, there's people who say that table salt is a poison, and the normal mineral salt has been killing people for thousands of years. It is a poison, really. I think it's 2 or 3 tablespoons of salt eaten in one go will kill anybody. So, you know, we're having it every day on our meals. But we do need sodium, and really in its true form in the plant. And these celery is high in sodium, which is a very important mineral. There's a difference between sodium and salt. So yeah, it's the best form of salt. Although, you know, it's not really salt, it's sodium. That's what our bodies need, sodium, not salt. Yeah, salt is deadly, especially too much of it. And most of us are eating it every day. So this is the best way to get your salt out of plants like celery. Anyway, that's the second clump. Wow. I'm a bit sore even actually. I'm going to stand up. Whew. And it's got me panting. Just all the bending over and stretching. So that's the second big clump. 3 thick clumps to go. There they are. So I'm just going to put these in here and put a bit of water in the bottom of the tray. And especially if it doesn't get too cold. It's not getting quite as cold in the evenings at the moment. So they should be fine. Just like that overnight. With a bit of water in there as well. And I'll show you the rest tomorrow. Big mission, eh? Just tip a bit of this water on them. That should do the job. And we shall continue this tomorrow, my friends. Well, my friends, the sun came out for an hour, and it's just too good to miss. It's just really good for me, for my health. So I just had a break and got stripped off and got some sunshine on my bones. And just having a salad, just give you a quick look at what I eat for. So I only just thought of this, I've eaten about half of it already. But yeah, I pick that every day out of my garden. And that's usually my daily routine. I come out here, get some sunshine, pot around in the garden and have a salad in the sun. And I should have plenty of time still to finish this. And as it gets later, the sun isn't as bright either, so actually a bit of clouds come over again now, but we did have a nice burst of sun there for about an hour or so. So I didn't want to put it to waste. Yeah, but I'll be with you again soon. Just finish this off and enjoy a bit more of this sun while it's here. Because you never know, we could get a few days of shade. It's often what happens, so catch it while I can, hey. Good for healing. Heals mind, body and soul. Okay. So now it's about 4 o'clock. We had a real good burst of sunshine there. So I got out and enjoyed it while I can. And it's a little bit of a race against the clock again now, but it should be okay. It'll be about an hour and a half before it starts getting too dark. So I better get into it, get into round 2. So yeah, we got 3 of these clumps left. And we'll get separating them now. Yeah, see there, they're still... Can you see that okay? Hope you can see that. It's still kind of, it's joined there, but just keep gently jiggling it, and eventually it'll just let go without having to tear any roots. And when I first started doing this, I started a little market garden in my early 20s on my first farm, and I didn't have much experience at it to start with, and I used to buy all my seedlings, and someone just told me, word of mouth, put your seedlings in a bucket of water to separate them. And back then I used to tear a few roots, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt much to tear a few roots. You can get away with it, but yeah, ideally you don't want to tear anything. The more roots that stay intact, the better. See, I only just noticed some of those broccoli sprouts I got there. I was showing you earlier. They've only been in those pots for a week and a half, And I just noticed before the roots are coming out of the bottom of those pots already. So that's how vigorous they are when you don't tear any roots. When you just take your time and just gently tease them apart. There we go. Hopefully this is going to go a bit easier today anyway. So they've already had a good bit of time getting jiggled around in the water. Might even just get those out of my way for now. Oh yeah, this one's going to come apart very easily. This one's almost done already. Yeah, but I had about 1/4 of an acre of market garden when I was a young guy, when I was about 24. I just dug it all by hand. Had lots of strength and energy back then. And it was terrible soil to begin with. It was very rocky. I had to pick all the rocks out. And I did have some good luck. You always have some good luck when you're doing things like that. You have some good luck and bad luck. And I got onto a dairy. There was a dairy not far away that had lots and lots of cow manure, and very happy to do without it, to have their place cleaned out. And some of that cow manure was very old too, it was just really good stuff, eh? And I could just go there whenever I want, get a ute load of cow manure, and yeah, I grew very healthy plants in no time. And I used to sell it to all the health food shops. Sell it as organic. It basically was organic, I guess. A bit might have depended on what they did at the dairy with the cow manure, but otherwise it was all pretty clean. I didn't use any chemicals, and I didn't do too bad out of it either. Made a modest income out of it, which was interesting actually, because at the time lots of farmers were going broke. There's lots of farmers on big spreads, cane farmers back then at the time. There's a lot of sugar cane farmers going broke, and they were like $100,000 in debt and couldn't repay the bills for their equipment and everything. So there we go, there's our first one. And me, I was just on this little farm. Well, it was just a block of land that I turned into a farm by hand. I had no machinery, I just had my chippo, but I had no debt. I owned the block and just making a modest living, and had plenty of salad for myself, plenty of nice salad to grow, to eat myself every night and give away to friends. I could trade with it, and also I could sell as well. Every week I'd sell half a ute load of vegetables, I guess, in boxes. And box them all up, pick them and box them all up. Yeah. Take it to Bundaberg and Maryborough at the time. So I was at a little place called Biggerton at the time. And even today I've still got that farm. Well, a block of land, it's gone back to a block of land again now. But I could be selling it soon, I'll just have to see what happens. I've got some people interested in buying it. So, and it's an interesting block. I've had it for a long time, I had so many dreams for it. It's a shame I could never make those dreams come true. And I'm often even tempted to go back there actually and keep going, because there's things I've done and there's things I know about that property. So I know there's things, I can do. Certain jobs are sort of half done, and water infrastructure and that I only need to do a little bit more. I got a big slope. I had a red papaya farm on 20 years ago. I'd so love to finish that off. That could be just a fantastic food forest. And I've done a lot of the hardest work. I've got a dam dug there at the top of the hill, and pump up from a lower dam up to the top dam. And I've got a lot of holes dug by machinery, just waiting to be filled with good soil and mulch. And grow very nice fruit trees. It's a perfect slope in many ways. Perfect aspect. Easterly, northeasterly aspect. East, northeast actually. It is kind of that east to north. From east to east, northeast. The slope. And not too steep. Just perfect for fruit trees. They don't mind a slope, a gentle slope. There we go, that one's done. Nice. I did tear more roots that time though. You might be able to see that. I tore a few roots that time. I was a bit rougher. Maybe I wasn't concentrating as much when I was talking. But, I've only got an hour and a half. It's still going to take a little while to plant these. Yeah, but it's a good life farming. It's hard to make much money out of it, but it's a good lifestyle choice. And actually, when you start to get to know what you're doing, there is money to be made too, really. It's better than a 9-to-5 job. And especially the way food's going these days, it's not getting any cheaper. And this COVID stuff really even proves it even more, you know. There's nothing like having food security, you know. Having plenty of your own food to eat for yourself and family and friends. Lately we're having all sorts of food shortages. We had a lettuce shortage not long ago. That's just ridiculous. You'd never imagined that before. We've got a chilli drought right now. There's no chilies in any of the supermarkets around here. Man, I'm lost without my hot little bird's eye chilies. I've got some chili bushes here, but they just still haven't started bearing yet, which is quite sad. Yeah, my food just ain't the same without having some nice bird's eye chilies. But, you know, and it's just getting more and more expensive food. You know, like I was saying before, these things, a lettuce, full-grown lettuce, clump, $6, $5.90. You know, so every one of these is potentially worth $6. And yeah, at a guess I just took before, I may be able to say it more accurately later, but you know, if I've got 100 of these things, and I should have, might even have more than 100. Well, that's $600 worth of celery, potentially. See, so yeah, there is money to be made in it once you know what you're doing. But it takes a while. It takes a while to learn what you're doing. You see the old guys, sometimes, you know, one old guy. Well, I had this old guy neighbour once who grew bananas. I lived on a share property. There was 11 shareholders on 450 acres. And a lot of those people were just absolutely hopeless when it came to gardening. They were just fresh out of Sydney and just had no idea. And this one old man, he was like 75 years old or something, he was growing way more produce than the whole lot of us put together. You know, it was just one old man. And making good money too. He's making a small fortune, that guy. Well, he became quite rich. He was quite a rich farmer. Really loaned all of his friends and all of his relatives money to start their own businesses. Yeah, and it's pretty hard. You've just kind of got to do the time, you know, like an apprenticeship in many ways. It helps to work on other people's farms. I started off doing that actually. I spent a few years working on other people's farms before I went out on my own. But there's a lot to learn, hey? And it just takes time. You know, and you're always learning too. You're always having to learn more and make adjustments to what's going on, what the weather's doing, what prices are doing too, you know, so you follow the trends of what things are making the best money. I made a small fortune growing corn once. I just got lucky and just timed it right. And there was suddenly just huge demand for corn. And you could sell 2 cobs for $1. And Yeah, I made a small fortune out of corn for about 2 or 3 years, but then everyone got into it. And then every man and his dog was growing corn, so the bottom dropped out of it. Look, there's another one. So, you know, then ideally it's time to go on to something else. Get out of corn and find the new niche. But at the time with me, I went into nurseries then. I was doing quite well with plant nurseries. It's my own nursery, and I set up other nurseries as well. Growing fruit trees and rainforest trees. That can be a pretty good earner actually, and not a bad job. I quite like that. I can never really stop doing that. As you see, I'm doing it here even. I'm not even trying, but it just kind of happens. Before I know it, I'm growing fruit trees and other trees. Before I know what I'm doing, like just there, I've got, what's that? Don't know if you can see that. Just there up higher, there's 2 silky oak trees, native silky oaks. I just can't help myself, I had to pot them up. And they're a beautiful big tree. I don't know what I'll ever do with them, but you know, maybe I'll give them away or sell them, who knows. But I just had to plant them. They were there staring me in the face, so I had to transplant them out of the ground and put them in pots. There's 2 big native silky oaks in the backyard, and they drop the seeds and little sprouts come up from time to time. Here we go, there's the second one now all coming apart finally. Much easier today, because a lot of the work was done yesterday. I am breaking just a few more roots today too. As you can feel when you break them, you can feel it happen. There are very few, not many. The less roots you break, the more vigorous your plants are going to be. There we go, that's done. All done. Down to the last one now. See, that one's small, hey? Just a little babe. But it'll grow. Last clump. There we go. Still a bit of soil in that clump. Might take a little longer. See, I just see how I sort of just pinch it. Just pinch it there in the water. Squeeze, let go, just tap, 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 tap. And the dirt just slowly comes out, separates. Yeah, worth the effort, in my view. Especially if you're someone like me, or especially if you're poor, and so many of us are. But there's other factors too, you know, like just having good food and being economical. And actually I think after I worked out, you know, when you could compare to just having 2 celery plants in that clump to a clump like that, you know, it's a few hours work, but it's time well spent, isn't it really? It's time well spent if you can make it work. And if you follow what I'm doing here, you should be have success. You still could have a little bit of failure. You've just sort of got to watch what's going on, watch and make adjustments. Like I was showing you that tray where I kept the hothouse on for too long, and it's recently been warming up. Like they've really enjoyed that hothouse over winter, but it's recently been warming up, and that hothouse got too hot and wet, and I've lost about 1/3 of those plants, and they were the biggest plants too. So that's a shame. I just wasn't watching enough. Just wasn't watching what was going on. So, you know, I wasn't watching and making the necessary adjustments. But I've still got a nice lot of lettuce there coming on soon. That'll be very welcome. I really like those red lettuce actually. I've been reading more about red vegetables and how good they are for you as well. So trying to get a bit more of that in my diet. Those red leafed vegetables. I think what do they call that? Flame lettuce or something might have been one of its names. There's a few different types I've had lately. A few different red varieties, red lettuce varieties. There we go. That's the first one out of that clump. And the rest will start coming more easy now. Oh, that one was a cinch. There we go. Oh, this is hard on my back. Not a good position really. I should just be in a chair, shouldn't I? You think I'd work that out after 40 years gardening? But I was fit for most of my life. I wasn't clapped out like I am now. It was all easy back then. There we go. All just coming off very nicely. Oh, just coming out now. There we go, all done. Well, I think it's safe to say not all those roots belong to that little plant. So yeah, I have broken more roots this time, but it won't matter. They've still got good root systems, so yeah, and there's a lot more roots in that water there. I'll give you a look at it even. See if I can. See there? Yeah, a lot more roots in there. But that won't matter too much. So anyway, I'll set this up now to start transplanting. Start getting them in some soil. Okay, my friends, well now I really better get moving. Now I'm really running out of time. I got a phone call from a real estate agent about buying my property. So that was very good news. And yeah, it took a little while, and now it's getting close to dark. So anyway, I'll just show you how I do this. I'll put the biggest plants in first, a little bit at the bottom, put the roots on, put the roots in, and just pack it down like that. And there it is. That's it. There's another one. Try and get all the biggest ones this time. Again, just a little potting mix at the bottom, so the roots aren't hanging out the bottom. It doesn't even hurt to let it curl in a circle, I find. So I've got that curled in a bit of a circle there now. Put the rest of the potting mix on top. Done. Okay, I'm panting already. It's just talking takes my breath away. So I better move. So that just gives you an idea how I plant them. Then yeah, just give it a light sprinkle of water and put those little hot houses over them. That works really well. Even now it's warmer, it's just good. Keeps the moisture in, gives them a bit of humidity. Keeps them warmer and keeps the moisture in, because it gets windy around here too. It's got quite still here right now, but there is quite strong breezes here, which really suck the moisture out of a newly transplanted seedling. So yeah, maybe I'll even have to give you one more look tomorrow at the finished result. It might end up being a little too dark. I'll give you a good look at the finished result today, but hopefully I'll be able to finish today. Yeah, gee, I got some exciting news about my land. Actually, from a real estate agent. And the chance I could make a lot more money. Get a much better price than what I was first thinking I was going to get. So that's really good news. I seem to be having a little bit of good luck lately, so that's nice. I guess we don't always have bad luck forever, do we? I sort of had a lot of real bad luck when my lungs gave way on me. I got food poisoning, and then it just left me with completely stuffed lungs. It was just the weirdest thing. Very strange. And 3 years later I'm still stuffed. I'm still completely incapacitated. It may never get better. The docs say I won't get better. Well, actually my best doc, last time I saw him, was saying it's possible I could improve a little bit. That'd sure be nice. That'd be nice if true. So I can't do much, it really sucks. Trying to pick out the biggest ones for this one in these bigger pots. Okay, well that's my big tray done. I'll start on the smaller tray. I think it is going to be. I'm going to fill this up and more, I think. See, in this part's pretty simple, really. It's not that difficult. The hardest part was separating the roots. Transplanting them is pretty simple. Putting them all in bigger pots, in separate little pots. It's pretty simple, but it's delicate. You've got to be really gentle. What have I got here? I've got two here. See, I just see now, sort of. Hey, what's going on? I planted two in there accidentally. Hey, they're so tiny. They were all that small only 2 weeks ago. Makes me think it was a good thing to let them get bigger, because they're really fiddly when they're that small. And just make sure you don't put the soil up too high. You need to make sure that the soil level is right at the base, between the roots and the stem. And it doesn't even hurt if a tiny bit of root is exposed, but it often will hurt if you bury the stem. You can get rot. So you've got to really watch out for that. And that's about all you've got to watch out for, really. Just make sure it's, the soil levels on the root of the stem. Where the root joins onto the stem, that's where you want your soil on. Going up to that and no higher. Some vegetables will get away with the stem being buried, but not all, not a lot of them. So yeah, it's better to have a little bit of root exposed than to have your stem buried. But ideally, have it right on that level. Get it right on that level where the root joins onto the stem. and give them 2 weeks and they'll all be looking very nice, you know. In 2 weeks they can be potentially planted out, but I'll probably leave them in these pots a little bit longer than that. You know, in 2 weeks to a month, that's sort of the time frame you're looking at. I'll probably let mine go for a month, because I might have a bit of trouble with space too, actually. With getting space for them. As you can see, I've pretty well got that garden full already. So I need to prepare another spot. I need to make some more room. Okay, that's the next tray. And what's left? Not many left, actually. Not many left. Hardly even deserves using one, actually, but I'll use one. One more of those small little compartments. Put them in every second one maybe, so they'll be nicely spaced, I guess. Oh, I just got such great news, my friends, about my land just then. Just amazing. I'm really excited about it. It's going to get me closer to my goals, I think. I'm living overseas in my last few years. That's my dream. I'll get you some great YouTube videos then, my friends. Show you Asia. Show you what's going on in Asia. Hard to see what it's going to be. It might be a little over half filled, this last one. Almost getting a bit too dark for me to see properly. I'll do a good job of this. Well, there we go, that's half filled it. And what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4 left. So it's pretty amazing, isn't it? So yes, 24 spaces to half fill it. So 4 more is 28. Then almost 50. And then what is there in that bigger one? Look, more than 100. There's more than 100 there. I don't like to put an exact number on it anyway, but it's safe to say it's more than 100. So there we go. Done. Don't know if any dropped. It's possible. I might find a couple tomorrow that I've dropped. But there it is, folks. And that's the third tray. So I'll switch off now and I'll just give these a light water. Just put these up here, give them a light water, and I'll give you another look at them. I'll give you another look at them tomorrow. So thanks for watching. I hope you find that interesting. And yeah, I'll just give you a little bit more of a look tomorrow at the finished result. And that's it. That's how you do it. Okay, bye for now.
The next day.
Okay, my friends, that's the finished result. This is the next day, and the sun's only just hitting them now, actually. It's a bit after 2 o'clock, and it's been a cloudy day, but the sun's just broke out through the clouds. Perfect time to transplant, really. And that's the bigger ones there. And that's the other two trays. So yeah, that spot is getting too much sun now. As spring is coming, the sun's moving around. And that spot used to get more shade only just a couple of weeks ago. So that's why I burnt my lettuces with that other tray. So I've got to watch that. So hopefully I've learnt from those other burnt lettuces and I won't do the same with this. But yeah, they'll still take a bit of that, but I've got to put those little mini hotehouses over now, put them on top, and I'll probably move that actually, move those two even into a shadier spot, put them just in here somewhere actually, for at least a couple of days. And yeah, maybe I've got to work out something different there. Maybe that it has become too bright now for recent transplants. And yeah, so I counted them. That's I'm a little over 100. There's 30 in that bigger tray. There's 48 in that tray, and there's about 28 or so in that tray. It's a little over half filled. So yeah, that's more than 100 seedlings, celery seedlings, and if grown to their fullest potential, that'd be $6 a bunch. So yeah, like 100 seedlings, $6 a bunch, $600 of celery. I won't grow them quite that well. well, in this spot as well, like even. But it's going to get very sunny now. It's getting more and more sun is getting in there, and it's becoming more and more like a real garden. Gets enough light to perform, but it's still not quite like sitting in a paddock in a market garden, is it? It's still got the walls around it. You know, even if it's at its fullest potential, it'll get a lot less sun than a true market garden. But yeah, but still, you know, 100 plants out of just one investment, out of one. I think it's about $4.50 actually for just one of those trays. All those seedlings just come out of there. So it's well worth it, hey. It's well worth doing. It's well worth putting the effort in. And you know, just persevere with it. You'll have some failures, and yeah, you just got to stay patient, keep at it, and eventually it becomes quite easy. But even me, like I'm still having, I still have failures, like I did with those lettuce I showed you. I'll show you again soon, but hopefully I won't make a mistake with these. Yeah, so I'm going to have my breakfast soon. Out of here I'm going to pick my salad again, my daily salad. And then I've got these papaya too. These are off my own trees. These are all Hawaiian golds. So they're going to be delicious, especially the big one. I'll be eating that soon in the next hour or two as well. But that's not a bad size, that one. And yeah, really delicious. And yes, right now is a perfect time to transplant with the extra cloud, and to move these things out now into more sun. See, they're getting some bright sun now. It's a bit too harsh on them, but there's so much cloud. Actually, there may not be much more cloud for another couple of hours, but they should get through it. And just having these extra clouds over these days, it just helps everything to settle in and get used to full sun. So yeah, and here's my lettuces here again. That one tray, that's a shame that. I've lost about a third of the biggest seedlings. And they kind of cooked. They were sitting in that extra bright spot under the hothouse, and they kind of cooked and it hurt them quite a bit. But hopefully the rest of them are going to pull through. There's still a couple more might die yet, but hopefully most will pull through if I keep an eye on it. Yeah, and these have settled in nicely. They were originally transplants that got put into larger pots, the same as this, and then into the straw. They've been in there for about a week and a half now, and they've finally settled in. They can take a fair bit of sunlight now, and they're ready to top dress now. I can add extra dynamic lifter on top now, so every time I water, the dynamic lifter will wash in, and that'll warm up that straw as well, that organic sugarcane mulch. It'll start becoming a really nice warm growing medium. Oh yeah, and these broccoli, I only did these about a week and a half ago too. These were very successful. These 2 trays of broccoli, and have a look at this. See, this is only about a week and a half in these pots, and look, can you see that? There's roots coming out of the bottom already. So they've done very well. And they can still stay in those pots for up to a month even, really. But you know, I may even keep them in there for up to a month, because I'm not sure. I'm kind of running out of space again. Not sure how soon I can get that bobcat in there to clear out the back. That's what I want to do, yeah. I can move all this out of the way, because they're all in boxes. Move these vegetables out of the way so I can get the bobcat in, clear out the back, and then I can turn this into a permanent garden then. And the boxes by then can go somewhere else. They can go back here more, because by then the sun's just moving over more and more. It's kind of out that way now in the afternoon, but it's just coming over more and more. So this whole spot here is getting more and more sunlight as summer comes on. And I'm almost ready. These mesh things, they're good for keeping my pots on. I'm almost ready to put one of those in here. Actually, I can't wait to do that. That's the next job. I've just got a few more of these roots to chop out. These things, there's still a few more of these plants. And for me it's slow going. I'm very slow with a pick these days. See, I'm getting out of breath just talking to you. But yeah, hopefully I'll get those few out soon. And then I've got these blocks here. Put some blocks down to get it up out of the ground, and I'll be moving all my pomelos that are in the back there. I'll be moving them out here. I do have to do that soon, really, so that'll be ideal for them, so they can acclimatise, because again that spot is slowly getting brighter and brighter, and by summer it'll be cooking. So I want to get them out there now so they can slowly adjust as it gets brighter and brighter. Yeah, and then I've just got to get these bigger ones out. The last of them. Anyway, need a breath stop. Stop for breath. Yeah, now I've just got to chop these last few trees out of this hedge. See, that was 40 foot high only about a year and a half ago. That's the thing that just sent live roots through the whole yard. And every root turned into trees like that thing. See, that's already chopped back. It's got a fair bit of roots there. And all attached to the parent plant. I've got a little mini chainsaw for that, so hopefully that won't be too difficult. I'll be ready to get that very soon. Chop that out, then I've got to put these boards in, fill up those gaps a bit more, then paint it still want to paint it purple like that. Should look great then. And yeah, hopefully kill these things off. I'll have to drill holes into the stumps and pour some Kero in the holes actually, just to make sure, because that tree is so tough. It's amazing how tough it is. And I don't want it coming up through the mulch again. And I'll get a row of papayas in there. That's the plan, another row of these red dragons. These things here, they're ready to go now. Or they can still stay in the pots for another month or more. Just have to see how they grow. They will start taking off soon now it's warming up. But as soon as they're ready, as soon as they've filled those pots out, so they've still got plenty of room in those pots to grow roots. But as soon as they get a bit more size about them, there'll be lots of sun here on this edge by then. And I'll plant them in here, plant another 5 or so. Plus I'll have room for more vegetables. Yeah, it should come up real nice soon, over by summer. Hopefully all going well. And hopefully my lungs will get better by then too. They always seem to get better. I've noticed this last few years the winters always nearly kill me. But this winter was extra bad. But as soon as the nor'easters start blowing in, it's almost the nor'easter today actually. That's the freshest air, it just blows in off the sea, and oh man, that's good air that, hey. You know, because there's nothing out there. You know, you keep heading northeast, you'll sort of get to Hawaii, and then over to Alaska even, I think. So, you know, there's just thousands of kilometres of ocean, Pacific Ocean out there, and that air is so fresh. So it usually peps me up, and I come good again. So fingers crossed I'll be a lot better than I am now by next summer. I'll have a bit of strength back again. Oh yeah, and like I was saying before, that soursop, guayabano, is that how you pronounce it in the Philippines? Really happy with how that's going. I'm hoping, like it'll be 4 years this Christmas, and it's only been in that ground for less than a year. It was a smaller plant like those, but once it went in the ground it took off, as they do. And I'm hoping that might even bear fruit this spring. That'd be really nice if it did. And I'm very pleased with how it survived this spot. I really thought it was going to drop a lot more leaves in winter. Even all of its leaves, I was even expecting that. But well, there's still, the worst still could be to come. Most winters we get our worst wicked sou'wester winds. Around this time of year we get 2 weeks roughly of just the worst weather you could ever imagine. So, and it's totally exposed to that, to the southwest, so we'll see. But so far so good. It's just got through a very cold winter. And we'll just see what the next month does. Next 2-3 weeks, month. Actually there's snow coming up right now from Antarctica. They're expecting snow even in northern New South Wales in the next couple of days. And we are going to get a cold blast again. One of the last cold blasts of winter. So we'll just see, but looking good. I better not speak too soon, but looking good. And if it's a female, it could be bearing fruit this spring, summer. So fingers crossed, next year at the latest. Next year it'll be 5 years old, so they say they'll bear fruit in 3 to 5 years. So yeah, I'm going to give it some more flowering formula food soon. in the hope it throws out flowers in spring. Yeah, so there we are. There we go. This has kept me pretty busy through winter. Oh, that Chinese water spinach, it really went back. It just stopped growing completely through winter, but it didn't die, thank God. So it'll start coming back to life soon. Now these papayas lost a lot of leaves. They're still dropping a few, but it's just about over that now, all that horrible weather, and they'll start growing again soon. They haven't grown at all winter, but they'll just suddenly start throwing out new leaves soon. See, yeah, that red dragon, look at the fruit on it. It's not even a year old yet. It's only about 8 months old. What a beauty. Red dragon papaya. Hope to have quite a few more in the ground here over the next few months. So yeah, it's been a good hobby, good exercise, out in the sun. Oh, that Mizuma is delicious, so good, just starting to come good now. I'm starting to be able to pick it more heavy every day now. Yeah, so I've shown you just about everything, I think, for now. I hope you feel fired up to transplant some seedlings now after watching this, or transplanting anything clumped up. Just put it in water. That's the way to do it. So, well, I'll give you one last look at when I put the hot houses over them. I better do that now, actually. Okay, I've got the little hot houses on them. It's starting to fog up already, actually, creating a humidity and cutting back that wind. And I've tried to put them in a shadier spot. It is getting too burny here, actually. I can really notice that. Tend to be too much sun coming through there for transplants. So yeah, I'll keep those in there for a couple of days, at least a couple of days, and then slowly introduce them to more light. And yeah, if I had this sorted out, because all these plants are ready to be moved now, so hopefully I'll do that very soon. I'll get all those pomelos out at least, and then eventually the sourshops. Get them all in more full sun, and this will all be ready for transplanting, and this whole spot. And I can get extra shade there for things like these veggies behind that soursop. That soursop's always going to give a little bit extra shade in there. See, because it's all under the house here, but it still gets quite bright. It still gets quite bright in the afternoon. Oh, finally a bit of shade again, a bit of cloud. That's good. It's been quite bright and burny there for an hour or more. But yeah, that's perfect. Now we've got a bit of shade again. So these things, it's just perfect for them to adjust to full sun. And these things too, like some of those are even burning under there in one of my shadiest spots. So yeah, they'll be okay there for a few days. Yeah, so now I can eat my salad. I can pick it and eat my salad and my papayas and just enjoy the afternoon, take it easy. Maybe do a little bit more work in this garden. See, this thing was just huge, this stump. That was 40 foot high, that tree. I've dug out a lot of the roots. A few of those bigger roots will have to stay, I think, for now, till it rots a bit more. Yeah, it'd be good to get that mesh in there and get some potted plants out there. Give me room to move on to the next things. the next task, the next things I want to transplant and pot up. Oh yeah, there's happy plants flowering too. They say they bring you money luck when they flower. So maybe I'll get some money luck with my land. Really hope so. And I've got a couple of big happy plants out the back. I would like to take cuttings off them. Because those stems, like you can cut those stems 6 inches long, or even shorter, even 1 inch. But I'm thinking of cutting them 6 inches long. I've got a lot of stems actually, and I could grow quite a few plants. Put them all in the small pots. I've got a lot of small pots here. Pot them up, give me a lot of happy plants. They're always worth pretty good money and they're always good to have. Yes, okay, this has turned out to be a long video. Hope you liked it. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. Thanks always. Really appreciate your support. Okay, so bye for now. See you next time.